Nate, give us the latest on Travis Hunter. Do you think he sticks with Florida State or is he going to Georgia?
I think Georgia has a chance to flip him. But that chance to flip him is -1 million.
Okay, perfect. We're going to cut it right when I went right there. We're going to be cutting that.
Please cut the audible gasp out.
Please. That was bad.
It sounded very fake.
Yeah.
Needed a little more effort.
More effort? That would have been even worse.
That was about a 2. That was about a 2. I needed about a 7.
The issue is too much effort.
It's more of a moan.
I'm just trying. Okay, I did not sound like that. Get the
absolutely not. Absolutely not, Dustin. No.
Hey guys, it's Terrence Mann. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Noel Game Day. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, aka E-Dub, in the house. We're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Noel Game Day. Go Live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spear. Go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Noel Game Day. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother. What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, presented to you by Noel Game Day.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. SSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What is happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from Hear the Spear, presented to you by Noel Game Day. No, there's no Go Vikings. It's all Steelers right now.
No, it's a Skull Vikings.
Go Detroit.
Do that again for us, please.
Detroit Lions, baby.
Dustin's gone all the way down to the bottom since Jameis got hurt.
Schneid, man. Off the Schneid.
But we are live on this fantastic Thursday evening. Me and Austin going head-to-head, Steelers versus Vikings. So we'll be watching that while we go over. Pretty packed-in pod, getting ready for early signing day. With me this evening is Austin Beasy, lead basketball writer up there in the corner. Nate Greer, lead recruiting insider down below. And then D-Lou, lead writer and editor. I think he's published 20 articles in the last 48 hours almost?
23.
Okay, 23. I knew there would be a number that you would know.
But yeah, he's sitting there chalking it up. Oh, I got another one, man. Chocolate milk.
That's awesome, bro. I don't drink chocolate milk.
Oh, so someone said chocolate milk. What's up?
Oh man, Gabe is already in here saying that they're here for the lies. Perfect. We're gonna get to all the lies here.
I got lots of lies today. I got lots of lies.
There's all kinds of lies. We've got a good one for you guys. We've got to talk about Chris Marve taking the job at Virginia Tech as a defensive coordinator. We got Randy Shannon. Hasn't been official yet, but will most likely be taking that linebacker job for Florida State. Michael Alford is going to be the next athletic director for Florida State, the Seminoles CEO Booster. Seminoles Booster CEO, I should say. Then we'll have a lot of recruiting talk to get you guys ready for early signing days. We'll give our predictions on a whole variety of guys, 10 plus here. And that's going to be a majority of the show. And then we'll do a quick little preview for Florida State against South Carolina. Austin will give us the latest there, and then that will be it. But a lot of this is going to be jam-packed with early signing day goodies. As always, you can listen to podcasts on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, too. And what I will say, before we even start anything, I've been pushing a lot the last couple of weeks, but make sure you guys are texting our number, 850-616-8661. We've got over almost 1,200 people on there now. We've had 400 new people sign up in the last
I need
week.
everyone to respond to that and tell Logan to let me have control of it for a day.
If we get to 2,000 signups, we'll let Nate control it for a day, and that might be terminated. It might be terminated.
We probably double it.
Make it 10,000 so it doesn't happen.
10. Yeah, so 850-616-8661. We're giving you guys live updates of early signing days. So starting from early in the morning, watch out for early text, but you're going to get a lot of texts on Wednesday giving you guys updates on any kind of scoops, rumors, what's going on. Is Travis Hunter, did it finally go through? and the facts. We'll see, but that number is 850-616-8661. We're going to be using that a lot this offseason and definitely on Wednesday, getting you guys all covered for early signing day. It's going to be a wild one. We're going to talk about it here just in a few. Let's start off with Chris Marv taking the defensive coordinator job at Virginia Tech. First off, congratulations to him. Once again, Norvell gets his assistants paid. Somehow he's got some kind of magical wand for that, but he does it with Chris Marv, and that's no knock on Chris Marv at all. That's a young coach with a bright future ahead of him. We put out a piece about a couple weeks ago from our guy Charleston writing about, the NFL Network, I believe, was put a piece talking about Marv and that he's got a really bright future where he's going to be in the NFL one day coaching. So this kind of didn't come to a surprise too much of me, but I think a lot of the fan base did. What are y'all's thoughts on Chris Marv taking that Virginia Tech defensive coordinator position?
My view on it is that the guy's a good coach. But, unfortunately in college, your position coaches have to be able to recruit. And that's where, he lacks. It's going to be important for him to find assistants under him that can recruit. From all reports, the guy is, a great guy. I'm not going to knock him in terms of, he played a part in the development of Ken Deloach, and you can't shortchange him on that. But at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for helping build the team and the program through recruiting. And I think that was the end game of it, is that, as a coordinator, defensive coordinators are a little bit of a different breed, man. Like, if they can find the Will Muschamps are few and far between. The Brent Venables guys who are super great recruiters. Bud Foster was an okay recruiter. Mickey Andrews, he was a unicorn. But I think that Marv, as long as he has some good position coaches, could have some success.
Yeah, I thought the writing was on the wall a little bit. When you look at Florida State's linebacker recruiting over the past couple of seasons, like you said, Nate, the on-field development was obvious this season with Kalen DeLoach and DJ Lundy becoming a starter. You could see it there. But recruiting-wise, you only have Omar Graham Jr. committed right now, is a heck of a prospect. But you've missed out on some guys like Jaron Willis, Wesley Basaint, obviously, Daniel Martin. You don't really know what's going on there.
EJ Lightsey.
Yeah. And outside of that, there's not really a lot of guys on the board. So right now, Florida State doesn't have a ton of options. Seems like Willis, it could be an option again. He decommitted from Georgia Tech earlier today, but we'll see how it goes. But I think that was the main factor in him moving on, and that was probably a move that Florida State and him mutually agreed on, I think.
I would say the writing was kind of on the wall anyways. Like we'd kind of talked in our group chats that kind of thought Marv was going to be moved on from anyways. I think I was a little bit surprised to see him take a DC job at Virginia Tech's not a bad program. To see him take a Power 5 DC job, I was a little bit surprised by. But good for him. Like Nate said, I think he's a heck of a coach, just not a great recruiter.
I think the Virginia Tech stuff kind of did pop up a couple weeks ago. So, just another guy that's on Norvell's tree that has found success and gotten paid.
What are you doing? Were you walking?
To me?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm adjusting.
It's like moving around back there. Like you're walking across the house.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it was good to see Marv get a promotion, and now he gets to go work under Brent Pry, who he actually played under at Vanderbilt during his college career. So that's a pretty interesting connection.
Yeah, no, it makes sense for that with that relationship there. And like Nate was saying, I think there's a lot of things to look at with Deloach having a big time improvement. And then also Lundy, I thought, had a really good season for his first true season and as a starter. And so
the thing sorry, Logan, go ahead, finish.
The biggest thing for him that lacked, though, was recruiting, and that's what made it a kind of an easy decision to say, hey, yeah, go and listen to those things from Virginia Tech. And they had a guy which we'll talk about, Randy Shannon, where it's an easy replacement.
The big thing that kind of got me this season was Steven Dix, man. Like, who played pretty decent as a freshman and started most of 2020. You know, he didn't play very much this season. You know, which, you know, I was kind of knocking Corey Raymond on Twitter. You know, the hire at Florida. You know, you look at, you know, what LSU's done in the secondary the past few years. It hasn't been great. You know, there hasn't been a ton of development. So, you know, on the flip side, while you know, Marv has done a tremendous job with guys like Deloach, you have to look at Steven Dix, who, by all accounts, you know, fixed the mold of a linebacker and just didn't do squat this season. You know, Amari Gaynor, a guy who just doesn't have a role in the defense. You know, that falls on coaching. So, you know, everything that combined together, you know, leads us to where we're at right now.
Yeah, and so now with Chris Marv being out, you're going to replace him. Supposedly, per reports and everything, it's going to be Randy Shannon, who was a defensive analyst for Florida State. You know, he's got a big-time background in what he's done, being head coach, defensive coordinator, everything imaginable, linebackers coach, and now he comes in and replaces him. And things that we've heard and things throughout the week that I was hearing definitely in that linebacker room is that they are excited to have Randy Shannon come in. They had a lot of respect for Chris Marv. Some think that they could have been used differently here and there, but from what I heard, there's a lot of respect for Randy Shannon coming in. And, you know, there's some contemplation even of some guys transferring, depending on the situation of who is coming in to replace Chris Marv. So now that Randy Shannon's in there, I've heard internally there's a lot of excitement and they're happy with what the change is going to be there. So what are y'all's thoughts on Randy Shannon coming in?
I think you should know what to expect. He's a guy that's been coaching college football now, or in coaching football for 30 years. He's been all across the state of Florida. Obviously, the head coach at Miami back in the day, defensive coordinator at Florida, defensive coordinator at UCF, worked with the Miami Dolphins. So he's got a ton of ties throughout the state. That should help Florida State on the recruiting trail. And he's also a very personable guy and a very good developer. Sent a lot of guys to the NFL. So I think Florida State should be excited with the hire. Plus, he's already been with the program for a year, knows how Mike Norvell operates, and it should be pretty seamless.
We all thought he would take over DC if Fuller messed up. Instead, he steps in the linebacker role. I think it's a great fit, honestly.
Yeah, I'm interested to see his contract. You know, maybe he's could be co-defensive coordinator. We'll see how it works out with the terms.
I think it's interesting timing. You know, you have a guy who's so well respected down in South Florida in the Miami area. You mentioned the name Randy Shannon. You know, they're going to listen. You know, they may not choose Florida State. You know, a kid that may just want to go to Miami. Just sometimes this is the way it is. But you know, with a guy like Randy Shannon, when he goes into a room down there or a house, they're going to be very excited about seeing this guy, and they're going to respect and listen to what he has to say because of his time down there. Like you said, you know, Dustin, he played at Miami, coached at Miami, was a linebackers coach for the Dolphins, head coach for Miami. He's been at Florida, been at UCF. The guy wasn't a great head coach, and you know, not every guy turns out to be a great head coach. But when you look at him specifically as a linebacker coach, he is a very good position linebacker coach. You know, he knows how to eye talent. You know, he's a great recruiter, which is the exact opposite of what we're moving away from as FSU fans and as a program. And I think with Shannon, you get a guy who's balanced in terms of being able to recruit and being able to develop talent. So it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds, you know, as this class finishes and moving forward, because I know he's got a certain type of guy he likes. And, you know, I'm excited. You know, it's a good counterpunch to, you know, Mario Cristobal coming down there. Because you have a guy that, like I said, is just so well respected that's going to get you into any any school or just about any living room to get your pitch.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I talked about it with, I think, Dustin yesterday over the phone, just thinking about Randy Shannon and what he can kind of bring in the households and to some of the parents and these moms. And it goes a long way. I mean, I think a lot of people do want young coaches, but Randy Shannon's name is Randy Shannon. I mean, there's a lot of respect for him and what he does. And recruiting wise, Nate and Dustin, I was going to ask you how that works with him, because, you know, he came in and thought, man, that's going to help in recruiting just starting off. And then you get to see that he's out there recruiting in homes now, and you're like, what in the world's going on? But eventually, you know, we have to find out Chris Marv's out. That was an indication there. But what do y'all think recruiting wise this does for a team that desperately needs talent and depth there at that linebacker position?
I think it's huge. Yeah. Like you said, Nate, I mean, he's got a ton of ties to South Florida and also throughout Florida with his time moving through different jobs throughout the state. I don't know how much it helps Florida State in the short term, just because he's getting started, but it is good to have him out in the trail and going in homes and, you know, getting to know prospects now. But it's going to be huge moving from Florida State into the offseason, where he can be talking with these 2023 guys, the linebacker prospects in particular. When guys are coming to campus, he's there to meet with them and their families. So it's going to be big, I would say, more moving forward for Florida State over the next couple of months.
Well, I do like the timing of how, because I know there's a lot of linebackers in the 23 class that FSU likes a ton. The 2022 class wasn't great this year in terms of linebackers. You know, it was very top heavy, in my opinion. And I think there was a big gap between, you know, your elite kids and then your what you would consider a three-star, a guy that you can look and evaluate and hopefully you can hit on the next level. I think there's a pretty big discrepancy this year. Same thing with defensive line, you know, specifically D tackle this year. You know, I know we're gonna talk about some things here with the recruiting. You know, how it unfolds. You know, early signing day is just a week away. You know, will they be able to push any kids to delay their signing, or, you know, who pops up on the radar, you know, over the next 7 weeks or however it is to the February signing day is going to be interesting. And, you know, what they do in the portal, that's going to be what's really important, in my opinion. With 6 linebackers on scholarship heading into spring, with, you know, 1 or 2 of them that could still possibly leave. So it's going to be very interesting, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, just saw that touchdown there. That was awesome. Dalvin just running all over the defense. That's phenomenal. And I think we
one people in the comments saying, "Why am I not watching?" I'm watching. Don't worry.
Both teams have already missed a field goal in a dome too, so we're just starting off perfectly. This is how tonight's going to go. It's going to be entertaining, at least.
But to Nate's point on the transfer portal, the NCAA put a rule into place. I think we've mentioned a couple times that players can replace or schools can replace up to 7 outgoing transfers with 7 ingoing guys from the portal. Florida State's already had 7 scholarship players enter the transfer portal since the season ended, and, you know, basically all of them were non-contributors during their careers at Florida State and will be looking for more playing time elsewhere. But that means Florida State's already at that limit where they can bring in those 7 guys.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of questions on here I feel like we should go over. There's one from Michael Carpenter. Yes, this did happen today. We'll get to a lot of these in a few, but Jaron Willis, linebacker target, decommitted finally from Georgia Tech. I didn't think that was ever going to stick since this a couple of months ago. I just never saw that happen with how Georgia Tech's season went. Absolutely awful and terrible there. There was a comment here about a piece that we put out and also an outlet for the Auburn about Kenny Dillingham, D-Lou, and the report there of him getting some contact with his former team over there in Auburn, Alabama. I don't know if you want to comment on that. I can't find oh, here we go. This is from Sonia, one of our regular listeners asking, Dillingham going back to Auburn, ?
No.
Yeah, it was a report from, I think it was AL.com, and basically said that Auburn reached out to Dillingham, had some conversations with him earlier this week about him possibly returning, because he was the offensive coordinator at Auburn in 2019 with Gus Malzahn, but was it Brian Harsin
Mm-hmm.
is there now. And he doesn't really have any connections. I did some research on that. I couldn't find any connections between the two. Bo Nix is in the transfer portal. He's not going to be going back to Auburn. So I just don't see Dillingham making what I would say is a lateral move to a place he doesn't have any connections or ties to. He's already – go ahead.
I said it also just doesn't make a lot of sense to go from Auburn to Florida State back to Auburn. Like, if he's going to do it, it'd be for to me, if anything, it's just trying to secure a bigger bag. Like, you see a lot in the coaching world. That's really the only thing I saw from it. I didn't really expect anything serious to come from it.
Nah.
Yeah, you look at his career, he's a guy that's always been moving upward, and I think the move to Auburn would be a lateral one. He probably wouldn't have the play calling freedom that he does with Florida State and helping out Mike Norvell. And he's already been here for 2 years, knows the players, knows the systems. It doesn't make much sense to me. I think if he was to leave Florida State, it would likely be for a head coaching job in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of talent. Got starred best player in the country coming in next season too. I don't think it's really time to leave. And I think his relationship with Norvell, I mean, they're practically brothers there.
I mean, well, why leave a situation that has upward trajectory versus somewhere that is having downward trajectory? I think that would be a poor coaching decision.
Right. And there's even been some rumors that Harsin could go to Washington. So who knows how long that regime will even last. He's had some trouble with the boosters there as well.
Mm-hmm. Just not a fit. I think Harsin's a good coach. He did a hell of a job at Boise, but I think he's just a West Coast coach.
Which we talked about last week, where
I thought the hire was just weird.
May not be the right fit.
I thought the hire was just weird.
It's like Brian Kelly to LSU. Doesn't make sense.
My family.
Oh,
Tigers.
That was amazing.
Because I'm Tigers. I haven't won a game yet. I haven't won all my games yet. Fucking twat.
I hope that crashes and burns in like 2 years. I
don't see it.
I don't understand why he would fire Tommy Moffitt, but
he's making a lot of decisions I don't understand.
I like him. Keep doing it.
Me too.
If he lost that ball, really, his leg better have been down, or I'll go fight him right now, and I'll fly to Minnesota. God almighty, Jesus Christ. I think the Vikings, though, also missed the extra point, which is hilarious. It just is incredible.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
Didn't the Vikings lose to Detroit?
Yeah, this is the battle of the two teams that did not beat Detroit, because the Steelers tied, and then we lost.
Mm-hmm.
We gave up a 2-minute drive to Jared Goff with no timeouts. So
yeah, he lost that ball. We're gonna get Emery just in here real quick. Emery, we're getting to a lot of the recruiting stuff in just a few minutes. Just a little bit more time to go over some quick hitters, and we're gonna jump into a lot of the recruiting stuff. Eric dropped a bomb here saying $20. NG Crew bringing FSU coverage. Thanks for everything up to the minute. Who do you guys see signing with FSU besides Hunter Duffy on National Signing Day Wednesday on December 15th? We're going to get to that in just a few, Eric, so keep an eye out for that. We're jumping through these quickly so we can spend a lot of time on it. Just one more thing.
We can send that $20 to Dustin. His back of his room's looking pretty smoky. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if you need some ventilation there.
I was wondering that too. My camera is, I don't know if it's my camera or what. Like, if I
looking pretty hazy.
Yeah, get a wipe on it or something. I don't know what's going on, but we'll get some strip lighting.
I don't smoke indoors, dude. That's like so 1950s.
1950s. Oh, we won't say anything more to that. I
don't know if it's my lighting.
That's a different angle. Michael Alford, Florida State's new athletic director. This was the former Seminoles booster CEO. How are we feeling? Because it was going to be supposedly Louisville's AD Vince Tyra, and things kind of fell apart there for Florida State. I thought there was going to be an announcement this morning.
That's great.
Probably Vince Tyra, and it hit a whole 180 where that didn't happen. And they said, you know what, Alfred, we're going to give it to you. Probably the smart decision in the first place.
Yeah, Alfred's a better fit, honestly, because he already knows Florida State. He's been there for a year. You're not bringing someone in from another ACC program who is kind of in their own mess right now. just from what I've heard from the basketball side of things, I didn't love what I was hearing. Obviously, I'm in the minority, caring about basketball more than football. But if he's going to, like, Louisville basketball matters more than Louisville football up there. You got to show that program some respect. So the fact that they've gone through the mess that they had this summer, like Chris Mack was starting to pull player scholarships, like it was a whole mess. So I'm glad they didn't go with that. I'm glad they got someone that already knows Florida State, already knows what he's doing. Now is he going to? I don't think he's going to stay Seminole Boosters president. If he does, be a surprise. But they got to figure that out too.
I like the move. You know, we had him on the Uncocker Talk podcast. I know he's been on a few podcasts. The guy's super passionate about Florida State, and he's got.
Can we get him on this podcast?
Yeah. Get in the DM. He follows me.
What's going on here?
I mean, he asks, or you know, he made me mess up, man. I forgot what I was saying.
He was going to say Nate. He was saying Michael Alford asked to get on the podcast.
Yeah, so
we said we can't do it right now. We can't do it.
We're too busy.
We can't take it this week.
We got to talk about Syracuse beating FSU. So
no, we don't.
You know, he's the guy's got a tremendous background in everything from, you know, building, you know, stuff in Dallas with the Cowboys to
$400 million.
Yeah, so
it's a tremendous resume.
Yeah, so
his resume is
You know, I know they want to continue to focus on the fundraising and building funds, and you're starting and getting back to competing with, you know, the Bamas and everyone else. So I like having a guy who is sports focused, you know, hyper focused on sports, and you know, whether we want to admit it or not, you know, a guy who is focused on football, because that is still the bread and butter of college sports, and that's the moneymaker. So, you know, as much as, you know, Austin wants to see basketball thrive, I think that, you know,
it's not as much thrive. They need some respect.
You know,
they're way behind in facilities.
I just need, you know, FSU basketball to, you know, take a step back. So
win a home game.
Come back forward.
Why can't everybody move together? Right, Austin? Everybody move together.
When's the last time Syracuse won or FSU won a basketball game at home, man? I mean, come on.
A week ago. It was a week and a half ago.
No, but I was joking aside. I think it's a great hire. I was a little nervous about the guy from Louisville, and I really wanted the associate AD from Bama. You know, I thought that would have been a great fit, but I think Alford is a smooth transition. Like Austin said, he's been at Florida State now for a year. He's comfortable with the administration, and I think it's going to be a good move. And on the flip side, I think you have to make sure you don't find a guy like Andy Miller to take over the booster program, because that just destroyed everything.
I think they learned a lesson on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think this is great. I mean, he definitely understands Florida State a lot, and he has that past experience of driving sales and getting people in seats, and he's got a lot of ideas, a lot of things being accelerated since first arriving at Florida State. He's still so new at FSU, and he's already started a lot of things and definitely getting more reach out there on the boosters. He's done an incredible job at it, and he'll find a great fit for his position. He'll do a good job of finding someone that will come in and deliver there.
I know you follow that more than I do, Logan, but he's raised what, over $100 million?
That's pledged. About pledged money. Yeah. He's done a lot of work in that. I mean, he's gotten donation after donation, and
so many.
A lot of those are pledges. Yeah, and then just your kind of regular amount of boosters has gone up a lot. I mean, just the use of social media. The boosters really weren't even using that as much. They were going old school, email, calls, and that was about it. But social media, they've done a great job, and he built a good young team around him too. Go ahead, Austin.
I was about to say it helps that he's big on Twitter. Like he's very interactive. He's talking with fans. Like he replied to a Madso tweet today. I think that's big, just for the casual boosters and the casual fans to be like, oh, I want to support this guy because he's supporting the community in return. I think that's big.
Yeah, and the thing of going on shows, he's been on a variety of shows. We still haven't had him on here, but I'm sure we'll be able to grab him soon, hopefully. once things get a little bit more not so crazy hectic for him. I'm sure it's going on, but
Hey,
hopefully
look
this
at that.
offseason we can get him on.
Walter Camp, first team All-American, and Jermaine Johnson. Sorry.
Jermaine Thomas. Shout out 2007 there.
Yeah, shout out 2007. Gator Bowl MVP. No, that's great, man. Walter Camp, first team All-American.
Congrats.
I think he'll be close to being consistent All-American. I don't know if he'll be unanimous. I think someone will end up picking Thibodeau and Anderson from Bama.
Someone already picked Thibodeau, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone picks like Cam Thomas from San Diego State.
Or the guy from Michigan, Hutchinson. So, you know, it's really great to see that. It's just proof that this guy came here and just did work. I love it.
Yep, he did.
ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy thing. Whenever I was listening to the interview, whenever he won the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and he told us straight up that he was laughing. That said he was never going to come to Florida State. He was never going to do that at all. And then I think on the third or fourth phone call from Norvell, because he was blowing up his phone, he said, "Oh, screw it, I'll answer it." And then Norvell, that just after that conversation, almost sealed the deal for him, just to say, you know what, I'm gonna give Florida State a chance here. Man, ended up picking him. So I thought that was pretty cool to hear from him, and that goes to show that I think they're really close. And it goes to show too about as a leader coming in, he was incredible this season. He came in helping some of the younger guys behind him, second string guys. I mean, just coming in now with an ego. That's something Norvell doesn't want to have in his locker room, and he didn't have any of that. He came in here ready to work, and he was listed as a starter right away.
He had an ego, but he had an ego in an awesome way. Like the leadership ego. Like follow me. I'm gonna bust.
I'll take it where you need to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna bust my ass. Follow my lead. I got this. And that's what was sorely lacking for so long. No one wanted to step up and challenge guys and kind of be that asshole that we heard that he was. We talked about that in fall camp that he was just an a-hole, but it was an a-hole in a great way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
he was
go ahead,
the heart and soul of the team, and it's going to be really hard to replace what he did off the edge. But I think replacing his presence in the locker room is going to be even tougher. He's the kind of leader you hate to see leave.
Any last thoughts on Michael Alford being the athletic director? Hopefully, maybe we can slide in the DMs and get him on here so we can pick his brain on a few things. Mainly, Nate wants to know if he's going to get that football-only facility, and Austin just wants updated locker rooms, really. And
I want a new training facility for basketball. It's been 20 years. They need one badly.
When you DM him, say follow back.
How about basketball just does something win,
Damn.
Win a title.
Look at this.
All right.
Look at this. This man's
talking. Why the hostility? Why can't we all get along?
It goes right. Austin, just say, look at football on the record the last 3 years.
I'm gonna say, Florida State's made three straight Sweet 16s. Oh my God, 3 straight Sweet 16s. Should have won a Natty in 2020.
No, I love FSU basketball, but I gotta give you some smack because you're so anti-football.
Give Logan the smack. His Steelers are losing right now. Please.
No, don't even. I'm sure we'll get enough of that throughout the rest of this episode because we got to get into the heat of this thing, gentlemen. This will be our last pod before early signing day. The phones, the texts, the DMs are going crazy for Nate and D-Lou right now, trying to figure out what in the world is about to happen. Rumors left and right. Nate just shit himself. It's that crazy. We're getting into the fun part of it. We're now under a week. And Florida State is planning to still sign the number 1 player in the country, Nate. Still planning on signing them.
Yep. I can't say enough about Travis Hunter and just the enjoyment it is watching that kid play. And I'm really excited to get that kid on campus and watch him develop at FSU. He talking to a couple of guys yesterday, agreed with me that you look at the the lineage of FSU and the guys they've been bringing in. The recruiting is vastly different than it was 30, 40 years ago. So let's put that out there now. But you have to look at this kid and really have a legit argument if he might be the most hyped and looked forward to recruit that's come on campus maybe ever for FSU.
In a long, long time, for sure.
Yeah, people were excited about Derwin James, and people were excited about Jalen, but not nearly like it is with Travis Hunter, and people were excited about Carlos because of just his family ties and people being when you look at Florida State and this kid they're bringing in is just. I think the closest one is Ernie Sims in terms of how highly rated and versatile they are as recruits.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a great defensive back, but I think it's going to be just as fun to watch him play wide receiver in Tallahassee. A kid can get done on both sides of the ball. Definitely needs to continue adding weight, but he's a freak athlete. He's a playmaker. And he just gets it done. I mean, he's got that mentality that you want the leader of your team to have. And when he gets here in January, I'm excited to see what he does at Florida State. It's just going to start in the spring. And him getting here early especially is going to help him out going through winter conditioning, spring practice, getting acclimated to the system. And then when we get to August, he should be ready to go. I expect Travis Hunter fully to be a starter somewhere in that defensive backfield.
Day one.
Mm-hmm. Incredible athlete.
I would put him above, LaMarcus Joyner. I don't know. My phone started ringing. I got cut out. I don't know where I got cut out.
No, you're good. We were just talking about.
You think they'll have him return kicks?
No, he's already said he's not a kick returner. He said he'll let other people get that shine. I think was his exact quote. But no, I think you go back to Ernie Sims, which is how elite of a recruit Ernie Sims was. Ernie Sims would have been a top flight running back just as much as he was a top flight linebacker. So I'm super excited, man, to land the number one player in the country and to keep him committed through everything, and for him to be as bought in. Man, it's great to see.
Yeah, that is impressive.
You sure he's not going to Georgia? Are you sure?
I think Georgia has a chance to flip him.
Oh, don't do that to the people here tonight.
I think the chance is about -1 million.
You should start the show off with that. I think there's a chance to flip him. Bam, intro. So everyone to listen through.
Yeah, can you get our intro right here, Nate? Start off.
That's
right
our clickbait intro.
We need the clickbait intro. Can you start now, Nate? Nate, give us the latest on Travis Hunter. Do you think he sticks with Florida State or is he going to Georgia?
I think Georgia has a chance to flip him, but that chance to flip him is -1 million.
Okay, perfect. We're going to cut it right when I went right there. We're going to be cutting that.
Please cut the audible gasp out. Please.
That was bad.
It sounded very fake.
Yeah.
Needed a little more effort.
More effort? That would have been even worse.
That was about a 2. That was about a 2. I needed about a 7.
The issue is too much effort.
It's more of a moan.
I'm just trying. Okay, I did not sound like that. Get the
absolutely not. Absolutely not, Dustin. No.
That might be the intro. Jesus Christ. Nate,
I get the intro a lot.
I need people to stop calling me, man. My phone keeps ringing and it's cutting me out.
Sources? Any scoop?
No.
Where's Dustin Hill?
Dustin Hill's in Louisiana.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly, he's ready to go.
To the store?
But I will believe that when he's on campus. So,
yep, whenever he's padded up in practice. So Travis Hunter, I think we feel pretty good about that one. Let's jump into some good stuff here with Wesley Bissaint and all the drama happening there. Phones are ringing off the line. We got vibrations. We got noises. We're really nearing into early signing day. But Wesley Bissaint, Miami commit. Florida State was after him hard there. Can they get him to flip last minute? 4-star linebacker.
So I think Florida State's going to do everything in their power to make a presentation that Florida State is still a legitimate option for them. You know, it's a guy that they have to have. You know, I've said it for a couple podcasts. I think he's the best coverage linebacker in the country. There's not that many guys who can move like he can, and also, typically guys that are that fluid of athletes. You know, he's very reminiscent for me of Telvin. You know, not the biggest guy. You know, he's got more of a lengthy build, but you know, as good as he is moving in space and everything, he can also knock the hell out of you as a ball carrier. So he's multi-dimensional as a linebacker, but what he can do in space and coverage is really exciting. You know, if they're going to really pursue that 4-2-5. But you know, I think Florida State's going to make another run for sure. You know, my personal opinion would have been easier not knowing that was going to be heavily pursued, but you know, it makes it harder to fight off, you know, Miami and keep Miami from, you know, staying on top of him. I know there's a lot of pressure for him to stay down in Miami, but I think I even put it on Twitter that even if he would have committed to FSU last weekend, I don't think it would have been over. Either way, Miami FSU commitment where he is right now, I don't think it's over till he signs.
This is a good question here from Mendoza saying, which flip is more likely, Besant or Willis, the 4-star linebacker that was committed to Georgia Tech, John Willis?
I personally would move on from that. The guy's got 2 commitments. He's, you know, drama usually equals bust. Not saying he's going to be a bust because the guy's got a lot of ability, but you know, it just seems like he's SEC bound. You know, Ole Miss has been first and foremost the first school that was mentioned with him as soon as his decommitment, you know, came on Twitter. So it just seems like he just doesn't want to go to FSU. You know, you know, we don't know everything behind the scenes and what's been going on. Has Florida State truly heavily pursued since his recommitment to Georgia Tech? Don't know. So do they kick the tires? Possibly, but I think you know, if I were them, I'd go after a guy like EJ Lightsey, who was only looking at Florida State before he committed to Florida. You know, it looks like Shamar James is going to end up at Georgia. Daniel Martin's kind of faded into the background. So it looks like it's either between those two and landing a second high school linebacker, you know, then you hit the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. A couple of the coaches did stop by and see Willis last week at his high school.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he decommitted from Georgia Tech today. Florida State's continued to recruit him, and his teammate is FSU commit Kashawn Sapp, and the two are pretty good friends. So
I'd love
we'll
to
see
have
how it plays out in the end.
But it just seems like the kid just does it. He's finding reasons to not go to Florida State, man.
No, I 100% agree. He's had multiple chances to pull the trigger and go to Florida State. Wanted to go to Georgia Tech and try to be a safety at 245 pounds, which I don't think anyone thought was legitimately going to happen when he did get to campus. But then Georgia Tech fired their safeties coach. That caused him to go ahead and decommit. And I do think he's considering probably playing linebacker more now. I did an interview with him during the middle of his senior season, and he told me that he had moved from safety down to linebacker and was playing there on their defense. So we'll just see what happens. It's definitely a weird recruitment. It's an interesting one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd love to know all the backstory when it's said and done. And I think it comes down to FSU, Arkansas, and like you mentioned first, Nate, Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's one to kind of see what happens there. But from what I've been getting since last couple of months, he just doesn't want to be at FSU. So we'll see. Sapp, current FSU command, bell cow for that 2022 class. Teammates with him close, and so we'll see if he's able to do some recruiting for him, his fellow teammate at linebacker. So we'll see. Next name, let's go over, is wide receiver 5-star Coleman. We've talked about him quite a bit this last since the summer, Kevin Coleman. And now it seems to be kind of a battle where it could be Oregon, Florida State, Miami. Cristobal leaves Oregon to go down south. And,
wait, are we making – you never said that we were doing our predictions.
Are you doing your predictions, or what are y'all thinking?
I thought that's
you want to give predictions?
Well, I didn't give a prediction for Willis. I just said 1 of 3.
Well, then you can give your prediction. It's just so hard to do predictions right now. People can clip it and be like, "Oh, this is a complete clown." Because probably tomorrow it'll be like, "Oh, he's going Ole Miss."
Well,
how are we doing this?
With due respect, I think Dustin and I are pretty much ridden with our, right or wrong. We're not going to sit here and flip it at the last minute.
I mean, I might. Shit.
I mean, let's make predictions. That's what it's for, man. Right?
All right.
Time.
So go back to Basaint.
Okay, we'll go to Basaint. Does he pick Florida State or Miami? Does he stick with Miami?
I'm going to say Miami. I want to say Florida State. I don't see it. All the visits to Miami and
I'm so close to picking a flip, man.
All the voices in his ear. I just think it's just going to keep him home.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the background of that recruitment, and we talked about it last night. Dustin, you missed out. And Austin and Logan know what I'm talking about. I'm so close to making that flip, but
Dalvin Cook just walked into the end zone. Sorry.
So do I want to be? Fuck it. I'm gonna go with the Florida State flip.
Oh. Wait, we got to note these.
Oh, we're noting them.
Hell yeah! I love a good competition.
Oh, we got a little competition. Put it in the chat. Let's see the chat get involved tonight with us, so we can all look silly when we're completely wrong.
Yeah, he's gonna pick Slippery Rock.
I don't even I still want to put the caveat about that. If the caveat comes true, it's Florida State. If it's not, it's Miami. It's just really how that's gonna go.
So they're gonna pay him.
Money's got to get involved there.
Make sure you cut that shit out of the podcast, dude.
For the audio listeners that couldn't see Nate's death stare.
Death stare. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be Miami. I don't know if Florida State. There could be a chance. There's a lot of things going on in the background, but I don't know. Just from what we heard and what we heard last night, I don't know.
I'm twisted on it, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's a tough one to pick.
I'm gonna go with Florida State just because,
you got to compete with Dustin.
No, if it was truly locked into it, why entertain another FSU in home?
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see.
Move on before I change my mind.
All right, we move on now to another one. This is a good one here. Wide receiver, 5-star Kevin Coleman.
No, Jaron Willis.
Damn it.
Ole Miss.
Florida State. Florida State.
I hope so.
I don't know if Sapp can get him.
It's me.
I don't think he wants to come to Florida State.
It's me versus Steve Wiltfong. So you know who to go with. You know who to ride with.
I would even say Arkansas, man, but it just
I heard
so bleak.
I was told today that he's either going to Florida State or he's going to Arkansas. I wasn't even told about Ole Miss. And that was with someone close to the situation.
I'm going to go Arkansas because it just seems like that's where it falls in with the way his recruitment's gone.
Yeah, and he does have a teammate committed to Arkansas, too. I can't remember his name. I think it's maybe Tyrus Washington, a tight end.
And I know that.
I can see it. His cousin plays at Ole Miss.
Mhm.
He's got SAP at FSU, so
and I know, Pittman did a really good job recruiting Georgia, so he's got ties there.
So you're going with me over Wiltfong because he put in the Ole Miss CB.
I'm gonna go Arkansas because his recruitment's been totally weird.
It's a good
weird
choice.
finish to it.
All right, we done with Willis?
Yeah, do Coleman now. I know you want to.
Yeah, let's jump into 5-star wide receiver Kevin Coleman.
Put a ribbon on it. It's locked up. Florida State.
Whoa! What's your reasoning there?
Because I said so. No, I mean, relationships went out, I know Georgia made a run at it. I think Mario leaving really put a damper on them. I still felt solid about Florida State even when, Mario was at Oregon. I just think that Florida State offers a better opportunity to get in the field quicker, which is something that, like I said that several times in this podcast, is very important to him. So I just think he ends up at FSU and is an immediate contributor on that offense.
I felt like it's been an FSU lean since the spring game, since things we were hearing then.
Since I would say truly since the Midnight Madness visit. I think that's when it was really kind of like, okay, man, like this is real.
Yeah, it would be, I think, devastating for Florida State to lose out on this recruitment because they've put a lot of resources into Coleman. They've built some strong relationships there. They've convinced his parents. I feel like they've done multiple in-home visits now. They've done a lot, and the need at receiver is obvious.
Yeah, and for them to, sorry, Dustin, not to interfere, but they turned out some pretty solid recruits to just stay on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't evaluate some guys. They passed on some guys because they felt so confident throughout this recruitment. It would be devastating if they lost him and then Hill doesn't come. Then you're looking at back to square one.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you look at this recruitment. It's been between Florida State and Oregon forever. Now Oregon's lost Cristobal to Miami. They lost their offensive coordinator. He took the head coaching job at Akron. So the relationships with Oregon are gone. Really all they have left is kind of that dream school factor, which I don't think is going to end up mattering much. So now you've got Cristobal at Miami, where Coleman hasn't visited. We'll see if he makes it in this weekend. There's been some reports that he canceled his visit to Texas, so I wonder if that means he's going to try and go down to Miami. So I really kind of see it as a Florida State-Miami battle. And I just see the stability that Florida State's had throughout the recruitment. You can't say the same for the other programs. So I'm going to go Florida State, getting Kevin Coleman. And at the same time, the need at receiver is obvious. He could come in and be a starter out of the gate, just like we expect Travis Hunter to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be.
Also, what are your thoughts on Kevin Coleman?
My thoughts are he's way smaller in that picture than I thought he was going to be with Norvell. Those are my only thoughts.
Yeah, and also Big Ben just got obliterated, so I probably just lost my quarterback. So I appreciate it, Austin. Thank you for that. I don't know. Why are you clapping, asshole? You're just
who's clapping?
He's the cheerleader.
You had it like right here, like you can still see it.
I was trying to do that.
And you can still see your hands moving.
A-hole. Yeah, exactly. I saw you moving, asshole. Jesus. All right. So yeah, I got Florida State on that one. I think they've sealed the deal there. Definitely things of what we heard last night too. So, and if everything's wrong, we throw it all at Nate Greer. If we're wrong, so that's what usually happens, anyways, in the Discord.
I'm married, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, Dustin has got a long road ahead. I'll tell you that from the things I've been hearing this week. I won't comment.
All right, let's go, bro. Come on.
All right, up next, Julian Armella. This is a good one for you, Nate.
Florida State.
Reasoning.
Just with the coaching changes, man. I think that, with what done at LSU, changed a lot of things for him. I think with everything going on at Florida, that took them out. Miami, I think that takes them out. Bama, they landed Pritchett, and I can, there was a question about Kelvin Banks. I can see them going after him. So kind of, Florida State worked their tail off in this recruitment. They got him in on that Midnight Madness, and they've got him in a few times since then. And I think that they showed enough promise and enough upward trajectory to make O'Malley feel comfortable that he can go there, develop and also win, because that's super important to him. Is winning in college. So I just think that Florida State pulls that out.
Yeah, and I think I said it last week, but coaching changes haven't helped Florida State over the last couple of years, but I think they're helping right now on the recruiting trail. Because in my opinion, Armella was probably going to go to LSU before Coach O was let go. And like you said, Nate, the instability at Florida and Miami kind of turned him off there, and I don't believe he's a take at Alabama. So it all comes back to Florida State, where Alex Atkins has done a tremendous job in his recruitment. Mike Norvell went out to personally watch him, and they've had him in Tallahassee a couple times. I can't remember if I just said it, but he's going to be on campus this weekend. So Florida State getting the final visit, the final visit before the early signing period is huge, and I think locks things up.
I'll just say real quick, since Coach O is not there anymore and Alabama is not going to fit him in there, that's Florida State.
Heck of an offensive line class for FSU this cycle.
Absolutely.
Did a good job. Absolutely. Coach Atkins got some dogs. Yep. Yeah. Got some dogs up there.
And you have guys that can play multiple positions.
Yeah.
Like Sean Sack can play all three. Yeah, O'Malley can play guard or tackle. You got Ely, who can play either tackle position.
What do you call him?
Ely.
Early,
whatever. Listen, man, I'm tired. Yeah, can I Charlton, in there, he can play either guard spot. So really exciting class that FSU's bringing in right now. So
yeah, and Florida tried to make a little late run over there at Jalen Early the last couple of days, tried to get him in this weekend to Gainesville. I don't think it's going to end up happening.
Nah.
No. There's a quick question here on Camden Brown, a 3-star wide receiver.
I have no idea where he ends up.
I don't know. That one's so quick. Yeah, that one happened so fast.
I can see him go to Georgia. I can see him recommitting back to Pitt. I just don't think. I don't think it's Florida State.
I was thinking Florida State, then that Georgia offer came in, and I'm really reconsidering.
I mean, it kind of depends, too, on how hard Georgia's recruiting him.
Wait, do we have to make a prediction?
I'm not, because I don't know. I don't know for him.
Dustin's for it.
I'll say no, man. As the unbiased guy, you don't have to because he wasn't on our list.
I'll go Georgia.
We added so many guys to this list. I'm going to say Georgia, too.
He's not on the list. Whatever.
He's not on this list, but I'm going to say Georgia just because that scholarship offer came in within the last week, which I don't think you would offer someone less than 2 weeks before the early signing period unless they are a take.
And they need wide receiver help. You got a 5'2" white kid playing slot for him.
Next one up on the list is going to be, I think we've heard of this guy's name before, Marvin Jones Jr., the legacy kid himself. It's time, gentlemen. Supposedly this week it was supposed to be Norvell and Saban and home with Marvin Jones Jr., the last two coaches to speak to him before he makes his decision, at least in person-wise, speaking to him. Yeah. Let's see.
You got, Dilla?
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Marvin Jones Jr.
I've been thinking about this one for like 8 months.
Yeah, it's been that way, man. This has been wild.
So my head says Alabama, but my heart says Florida State. And Florida State, obviously, they've recruited Marvin Jones Jr. He's a legacy recruit. But in their pitch to him, it's been more about him as a player rather than, being a legacy and falling his father's footsteps and all this stuff. It's about him being great at Florida State himself outside of those ties. They've done a great job in the recruitment. Alabama is Alabama. I think, and Marvin Jones Jr. has said before, Florida State has a deep place in his heart. I think his heart wins out and he goes to Florida State.
Oh.
And I feel absolutely crazy for saying it. So we'll see what happens.
I think this is going to be very Lorenzo Booker-ish. Like, everyone was thinking Notre Dame. And then he just goes with his heart, man. I think that's what it comes down to. Florida State can offer. Everyone thinks Alabama because Saban went in home. I get it. Relationships play out, man. In this, and when it's close, and I know that his family's not pushing him to it. I know that they're letting him make his own decision, but it's hard to turn down your dad played there, your cousin played there, your uncle played there. Your family's been in and out of there. And I think with the season that the defensive ends had, I think that shows him that he can come there and have that same kind of impact. If Jermaine Johnson and Keir Thomas, had half the season they had, I would definitely be on the Alabama on that bandwagon. So I mean, I'm gonna go with FSU because I just think that wins it in the end because he can go to FSU and play immediately. Not saying that he can't do that at Alabama. You see, Dallas Turner had a really, really good season for Alabama as a freshman. I'm gonna go with my gut and conversations I've had with people. I'm gonna go with FSU, and I think it's tight. It's tight. But I think FSU wins out. It's tight. Like, it's close.
Yeah, I don't know where this one's going to go.
52-48, 53-47. It's close.
Yeah, no, it is slim on what's going to happen there. I don't know. It just goes to show. I mean, he was on campus, I think, most out of any other school this last year. And for him to show up to Midnight Madness, which Florida State held at 12:01 once the restrictions were taken off, where players could go visit schools and be in person. And then plenty of times after that, official visits, being around Travis Hunter. It's hard to go against Florida State. But then again, you're facing the biggest guy of them all, and that's Nick Saban. And that's what is the tough part about it. And I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. I have no clue. I think there's going to be a lot change. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things we're going to hear.
Make a projection, bro.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm not the expert here.
Make a projection.
Austin's got to make a prediction too. If I'm making a prediction,
hell no.
Yes, he is.
No,
you made a projection on every single one we've talked about so far. Now you're gonna tuck tail and I don't know, man.
I'm gonna go. The Norvell thing hasn't happened yet in home, right? It hasn't. I don't think that's happened yet. I haven't
seen a picture hit Twitter, so
yeah, it has not happened yet. I wish I could
save it in
after that visit.
Went home this week, so
I'll go. I'll go Bama just so then. Jesus. I'll go Bama just because then I'll be wrong, but then I feel better because I didn't get it wrong. But then if y'all win, that's good because he ended up picking Florida State.
If you're wrong, we will.
I feel like if everybody picks Florida State, there's no way in hell that's going to happen. So someone's got to do it. I got to put my life on the line here for y'all.
I was going to pick Bama. Like, okay. If you really want to be picking, I was going to say Bama. So if you want to pick Florida State, go ahead. I wanted to say Bama. Because I was like 2 for 10 on predictions all year for games.
All right, good. So yeah, you get to go and pick that happen. Oh man! All right, let's jump into the next one here. Big time high target here. with Earl Little Jr. DB. Seemed to be almost an Alabama lock a little long while ago, but seems like Florida State is right there deep into the mix. And this could be a tandem coming in together with Earl Little Jr. and Marvin Jones Jr. It could be a package.
This could be a surprise.
Deal.
This could be a surprise landing for Florida State.
I don't think it's happening. I think he's going to Bama. I think Florida State did a good job in this recruitment, like they did in Kevin Coleman's recruitment. I think they really won over Earl Little Sr., despite the fact that he played at Miami. Mike Norvell.
He had a great time on that visit.
Yeah. Mike Norvell, Marcus Woodson, both have just done a fantastic job. But Earl Little Jr. is a guy that wants to go 3 and out, make it to the NFL, and he sees what Alabama has done, and I think he's kind of enthralled with that, and he's been waiting for Bama to give him that green light to commit, and I think that'll be next week. Florida State, close runner-up.
Yeah, as close as I think Marvin Jones is and Bama and FSU. I think it's the exact same for Earl Little. I think Bama, inches it, pulls it out. As great as it would be to land Travis Hunter and Sam McCall and Earl Little, I mean, that would be just ridiculous.
I have a nice little consolation prize coming up.
But for sure, yeah. But you look at that recruitment, I think Bama, pulls it out. But I wouldn't be surprised if he chooses FSU because they've done a tremendous job in his recruitment. I would not be surprised if that happens. I just think that Bama's going to pull it out. I think they split Jones Jr. and Little.
Okay. Yeah, you would definitely take Jones Jr. If you're going to take one of them. You would take the Jones Jr. if you had that chance. So, yeah, I'll go with you guys on Alabama there. Close, very close, and Florida State did a great job there. Defensive end, Nigel Kelly. This one's been months and months and months, just ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. Defensive end here, another guy that I think in the same kind of tone of Willis, former Georgia Tech commit linebacker. Feels like.
Well, except he was actually committed at one point. For a pretty solid amount of time.
You got Nigel Kelly, who was a one-time FSU commitment, but has stayed, typically when you decommit, that program kind of fades away. Florida State hasn't faded away. He's been on campus, he's been in-homed, he's been constantly contacted. Florida State's worked hard to stay in that recruitment and is a legitimate option. He was in town for that Notre Dame game and came away blown away by it. And I know there's some pressure to stay down in Miami. I think it's an interesting move with, Mario Cristobal. He was doing a good job of recruiting Kelly when he was at Oregon. And I think that, in my opinion, is what sways it where he ends up signing with Miami.
Yeah, he's been a guy that's kind of been all over the place. I feel like ever since he decommitted to Florida State, whether it was with Miami or still being recruited by Florida State or even Oregon, it kind of felt like he might go to Oregon for a little bit. Like you said, Nate, I think Cristobal going from Oregon to Miami sets it up for him to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this next one is going to be, and I hope I get this name correctly, but defensive back Azare Thomas.
Azare
Thomas. Athlete. Won anything but DB.
So this is an interesting one because Florida State, they've been pushing hard. They've done a couple in-homes. And I think they're a legitimate option for Thomas right now. It felt like he was going to be Georgia Tech or Florida bound. And I feel like I'm repeating myself. I said it earlier, but this is just another example of coaching changes at other programs paying off for Florida State. Georgia Tech fired their safeties coach. Florida parted ways with their DB coach upon bringing in Billy Napier. And that has kind of really backdoored Florida State into this recruitment because they continued to speak with Thomas, even though it seemed like he was going to go elsewhere. Now they have that relationship there. And Marcus Woodson, I mean, that guy is just terrific. So I'm going Thomas to Florida State. And he's an elite DB. Well, I don't know about elite, but he's a pretty darn good DB and a nice consolation prize for losing out on Little.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you. You know, Thomas can play receiver or safety. And he's even got a build that, depending on what happens in college, could slide down into the box and be a safe a linebacker for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the coaching changes helps FSU here, and I think that FSU's kind of turned up the notch on him. Push the gas pedal and putting a lot of pressure on him to show him, hey, we need to address the need at safety. So, I think that's a surprise signing for Florida State.
Yeah, a good early signing day present, you could say. John, appreciate the 5-bomb here. Nice gesture. Appreciate you coming out here and hanging out with us.
That's a nice fan for Dustin, man. It's $25.
That could be a fan, could be new lighting in there, could help towards that fund that we need to start working on. We've definitely got to fix the background a little bit. We're going to work on that.
I need like a Noel game, just like a giant NG behind me so I can think of Nate Greer whenever I come in here to work.
But I need a stack of plastic totes.
Plastic totes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we'll get you something back there too. Maybe my head or something there. We'll figure it out. It'll be perfect background for you.
I need something to laugh at constantly.
I am funny. That's what people say there. I'm funny.
I'm moving on. Let's go.
Fun to be around. Let's see. On to the next one. Tyree West, 5-star defensive lineman. Current Georgia commit. Hasn't been flipped yet. Hasn't been officially flipped, but got to see him at practice. A lot of smiles, a lot of dapping up current FSU players, lots of hugs.
Knowles.
Seemed like he was already committed there during that practice.
Knowles.
What is Dustin laughing about?
Just Nate. Knowles. No. every time you talk. I'm going FSU. I think this one's already wrapped up. There's already a nice little bow tie on the present.
Ooh, a little early.
I'm really hoping
I just think it's a little silent.
Yeah, I'm really hoping the comps to Tim Jernigan are true. That would be nice.
Okay, we get it, Dustin.
Whisper.
Richard.
Hey, if he comes to Florida State, he could be like Tim Jernigan.
All right, now not a lot of people like Timmy Jernigan. Nah, I don't know about Timmy Jernigan. There's only a few that can sit above my toilet every time I look and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's not the only thing you're doing.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before it gets weird, let's move on.
Yep, let's keep it. That's what Dustin made it weird.
Yeah,
Dustin made it weird. Running back Javonte Barnes, running back here.
This is a tough one.
Get another one.
This is a tough one.
Telling you, Wednesday is going to be wild. Everybody, get ready to get your coffee.
This is a tough one, man.
And Big Ben just got obliterated again.
I thought Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I thought Florida State's done a great job. Again, I know we've said it a few times. But I think that, Oklahoma was going to be the choice. And then, Lincoln Riley surprises everyone and heads out west. So, I don't know, man. I don't know on this one. Like I can make a prediction, but it would be completely uneducated because I had no idea what's going to happen with this kid's recruitment because Florida State has been super active with him. But that whole change of Riley shook up a lot of stuff. And I just don't know, man. Give me a minute.
Well, you got to make a prediction, bud.
I'll go after.
Let Dustin go. Yeah, let Dustin go first.
Let me think about it for a second.
Let the youngin go first.
I mean, dude, I have no idea. He's taking.
That's great. Yeah,
I think it's between Florida State, Oklahoma, and Alabama, and he's taking a random official visit to Miami this weekend. Like, what the hell? I don't think Miami has a shot. I'm gonna ride with Old Faithful, and that is Alabama, just because of the coaching changes. He does have some coaching connections to Oklahoma's running back coach. So we'll see what happens, but I'll go Bama.
Okay.
Why? I mean,
why? Because it's Bama.
So
that's literally the only reason. That's all I got.
It's tough, man. Like, he's officially visited FSU. He's visited Oklahoma. Utah. He visited Utah. This kid's recruitment has been kind of quiet. For a guy
unusually quiet for a highly ranked guy.
Yes, for a highly. So I'm gonna go with if Oklahoma keeps DeMarco Murray, I think he signs with Oklahoma. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Following DeMarco Murray's footsteps in Oklahoma.
And if they don't, I'm gonna choose FSU.
Oh.
Okay. I'm just adding into the suspense for no reason. Nice.
Wow. He has no idea who Javante Barnes is.
He doesn't
running back. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you heard us. I typed running back in the document. Where's he from? Where's he from?
Where do I know Javante Barnes is?
Stop typing.
He's in Florida. He lives in Florida.
No,
he doesn't. Vegas. He's from Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas.
Nevada.
That's just a different guy I was thinking of. I've been doing a lot of work on other guys. Sorry, I kind of got confused there. I got confused. Sorry, my GOAT quarterback's getting ripped apart. JUCO defensive back, DeCarlos Nicholson. This one we don't have to spend much time on.
I think he sticks with Kentucky.
Okay.
I'll say Kentucky.
Kentucky for JUCO defensive back DeCarlos Nicholson. And then we got JUCO defensive back Marquise Gilbert. How are we feeling about old Gilby?
I think Tennessee slightly over FSU. Slightly.
I have no idea.
I mean, he's coming this weekend. Depending on how this weekend goes. Florida State's going to have a need at safety, and he's the number one JUCO safety in the country. Really good player. But where we sit now, I'm going to say Tennessee barely over FSU.
Yeah, since I see FSU getting Thomas, who I think is probably a safety at the college level, and they've also been pretty active in the transfer portal as well, talking with some defensive backs. I'll go with them to Tennessee as well.
Next one is going to be 5-star offensive lineman Kayada Goodwin.
Michigan.
Recently visited Florida State a little while ago.
I'm going to go Michigan.
Michigan here. They're going to go join Harbaugh and the upward improvement they're getting there going in the playoffs.
I think he sticks with Kentucky after Mark Stoops deciding to stay.
Think he likes Stoops enough to stay?
He's been committed for a while, and I don't know.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like a really drama type of guy.
Nah, I mean, he's fully on taking visits. I think that Michigan flips it.
Another one here is defensive back Kendrick Law. What are we feeling here, gentlemen? This one up in the air.
I'm going Bama.
Yeah.
Would have been LSU, but coaching changes. I know FSU really likes him as a DB. I think Alabama likes him as a running back, I think. So I'm going to go Bama.
Yeah, I believe his two most recent official visits have been to Texas, and then he's going to be at LSU this weekend. And I believe Texas has been recruiting him for a pretty good amount of time. And I have no pulse or feel in this recruitment at all. I haven't really thought that Florida State was going to land him for a long time, so I just haven't kept up with it as much as I probably should have, but I'm going to go Texas.
Okay.
No reason.
Yeah, I don't, Louisiana Monroe. Well, I have no clue. No effing clue. And then this one I do know of. Former Florida commit, wide receiver, guy that can catch the ball in one-on-one situations. Florida State would definitely love to have him. That's why they're pursuing late here. Is wide receiver Jaden Gibson. Does Florida State make practically the flip here?
Oklahoma.
Whoa, everybody.
Gut feeling. Late visit.
Follow the visits.
Jeff Levy, you know, coming there. They've, looking at possible attrition. Hazelwood's gone. Weiss talking about entering the portal. You have Mims maybe entering the portal. Their 2023 class where they had 3 5-star receivers committed, it has been decimated since Riley left. So I'm going to go Oklahoma.
Yeah, Florida State, they tried to get in on this one. They were among
the
the
get them in this weekend.
Yeah, that was the final straw, really. And Oklahoma got that final official visit set up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going after. So Oklahoma.
Me too. Oklahoma, absolutely, for sure. Right there with it. We'll see what happens, though. This is what Mark's saying. There's no way it could even happen because his whole family are all Gator fans. Mm-hmm. All of them. Every one of them. Every one of them. Niece, aunt.
I believe it was a legacy, too, right?
Well, he'd be going to Florida if allegedly, Florida wasn't cutting bait with all of their commitments from Mullen. So,
yeah. They don't want to sign people until February, apparently. So they cut a 4-star quarterback, 2 4-star receivers, and a lot of other guys.
Mass exodus.
We'll see how that plays out for them.
Mm-hmm.
Florida fans seem to think it's a good thing, but you just lost a quarterback that was committed to your program for
We're going to talk about Kamari Wilson or no?
I was looking at those. Y'all didn't have Kamari on there, so I was about to ask about him.
Got to add Kamari Wilson. That is a 5-star safety, the top safety in the country in the 2022 class out of IMG, down by you in Bradenton, MG.
So,
what's going on here? What's going on?
This is one to watch, man. Okay. Florida State is trying to get him on campus this weekend. If that happens, the impossible may happen. Florida State's been a big part of his recruitment for a while. I think it comes down to FSU or Georgia, and how that plays out. And it's hard to bet against Georgia right now, and my gut tells me to go with Georgia, but Florida State is very much a part of this recruitment, and they get him on campus this weekend. I think it's gonna be very eye-opening and see how that recruitment finishes up. People forget, him being an IMG that he's from Florida, from Fort Pierce. He's been a guy who's watched FSU coming up as a kid. So, Florida State's done a phenomenal job recruiting him, and they've been locked in as an option. So, I think that he comes on campus this weekend. Watch out. I still, Georgia's going to, I think, pull it out, but I think it's going to be very close.
I agreed with one thing you said. It's tough to bet against Georgia right now. Bulldogs.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm just adding in, background, just
it's good,
dramatic.
Man.
You like that?
Yeah, it's great, man.
Take it to Hollywood.
I think I could. My mom always said I could be the next
I wonder
Brad
if
Pitt.
Kirby Smart can recruit the ability to win big games. Is that a recruit? The ability to win
The bag
when the
does it.
pressure's on.
I guess when you got the bag,
you got to pay the other team. They've already got enough money to pay their own players, so why not move the funds around?
Austin's like, man, what the hell's going on?
I laughed. That was funny. It was good. It gave us a sympathy laugh, but it was funny.
But that's practically going to wrap it up there for early signing day stuff. I can't stress enough.
But hey,
Texas
let's talk about real
number.
quick. They got, they have visiting.
I'm gonna kill him.
Lions have been committed for a while. Defensive tackle. They have the Chico safety. Gilbert visiting. They have Jared.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm coming down to Tampa to kill you.
What is happening?
I'm coming down to kill him. My God! I'm trying to get you clicks, Nate. I'm trying to give you damn clicks.
I will say, yeah. We were talking so quietly we can barely hear you, bro.
Bullshit.
Me?
Yeah, speaking of that microphone.
So Florida State has
say it with your chest.
Visiting this week.
There you go.
The chance for defensive end. That's when I'd watch.
Don't
they
wake
got
your wife
Pittman
up.
coming in. That's when I'd watch. So
not like that though.
Yeah, they got Pittman, Joshua Moore as well. So 2 transfer wide receivers, a pretty darn good transfer defensive lineman. We'll see how it works out. But I do just want to say I expect all 16 players that are currently committed to Florida State to sign on December 15th. If I'm correct, 12 of them will be early enrollees. The only guys that aren't, Antavius Woody, Kashawn Sapp, Jalen Early, and Jarrell Powers. Everyone else should be on campus in January, and we'll see about the additions that come on the 15th.
We'll definitely do an instant reaction to Wednesday. So if everybody's worried, sweating at home watching this, don't worry. Everything's going to be handled. We'll have everything in store for you on Wednesday. Give our instant reactions, which should be a wild day. Don't know what time it will be. It's all going to depend on.
Pull up
There's
Patrick's
always
comment.
What is Patrick? Where's Patrick at? There's Patrick Beck here saying chasing a defensive end from Albany doesn't get me excited. Sorry, not sorry.
This is one of those.
He's crazy. Go watch the kid's film.
You gotta go watch that kid.
Yeah, watch this kid's film.
That's it. And
you pursued the 3rd string defensive end from Georgia last year. How'd that work out for you?
It's one of those. If you read the articles and watch the film, that's a kid that you get really.
You need to go watch
excited
this
about.
kid's film. Yes.
Patrick.
Come on, Patrick. Come on, P-back. Come on,
we'll let it slide.
Tighten up, T-bag.
Wouldn't it be P-bag?
Yeah.
Or D-bag. Get it together. Go watch the film, my man. Real quick here, while I'm here to hide everyone, text that number down below. 850-616-8661. Live recruiting updates all throughout the week. Austin wants to say something, but he can't because I need to tell him one last time. 850-616-8661. It's free. It's free. It's live updates. We'll have everything imaginable for you guys. So definitely
he can hide us. He can't hide the fact that his Steelers are getting smoked.
I'm still repping. Still got another half to go. Congratulations, Dalvin Cook. I'm just helping him out here. Just kind of need him to chill the F out, though. Kind of getting ticked off. So I'm great that we're doing this live.
We hide people and people leave.
That's right. We can hide Dustin. Nate's gone. He did his job recruiting wise. He doesn't want to be here for basketball talk.
I don't want to be here for basketball talk right now.
I know we all kind of don't.
Let's get to the facts. Purdue just lost on the road to Rutgers from a half-court buzzer beater. So I'm upset. I'm really upset.
Yeah, that sucks. That does not help Florida State. Well, it doesn't even help them anyways because they got obliterated by them. So I don't.
Let's talk about Florida State's most recent game, Austin.
It looked like they were shooting left-handed all game. They shot 4 of 30 from 3. And in Anthony Play's case, he was shooting right-handed. It was just an ugly game. You're up 8 at half. You're up 11 at one point in the second half. And finally, Syracuse's shots started falling, and Florida State's just never did. It's as simple as that. Both teams shot the same amount of twos, same amount of threes, same amount of shots total, similar turnovers, similar offensive rebounds. Syracuse just made, I think it was 5 more threes than Florida State, and that was the whole difference. There's nothing more to talk about. When you're not making your shots, you're not going to win games. And when Caleb Mills is the only one that can put the ball in the basket, it sucks. And Anthony Polite and Wyatt Wilkes come back from last year, who both 38% plus from 3. Now they're both below 26%. Like,
yeah,
what can you do about that?
Dookie is what that is.
Yeah, and this was Florida State's chance to tie the ACC record for home wins against a conference opponent. And, I mean, instead, that final 15 minutes or so, they just went flat. And we talked about Syracuse, or you talked about Syracuse last week, their offense. We knew they had a couple of capable scorers, and Florida State on the other end couldn't hit nothing.
And Florida State did a good job of taking away the main guys for Syracuse, because Buddy Boeheim only had 6 points. Jimmy Boeheim had, I think, 11. It was Gerard who had 16, and then the transfer from Villanova, I forget his name because I never want to think about that game again, Swider. They both had 16 points. Swider took 15 shots, so it wasn't like he was killing us. It was just Gerard was hitting timely shot after timely shot. But when you shot Buddy if you had told me going in the game, you shot Buddy Boeheim down to 6 points, I would have thought we would have won by 20. But instead, we just couldn't hit shots. And if Florida State even hits 30% of their threes, which is not good, they still win by 12. It's just one of those games.
It wasn't pretty. It was not pretty to watch. Just aggravating almost,
It was so aggravating, especially knowing I could have gone out there and made a couple with my bad hit. Just like, it was frustrating. It was really frustrating, especially when Syracuse went 1-3-1. Which, I mean, Syracuse going 1-3-1. What the hell is going on there? Usually, I love Florida State's 1-3-1 offense. They just didn't really go to it that much. If you go back and watch the Florida State Xavier game when we were the 9 seed and they were the 1 seed, Xavier was up 12, and then they went to a 1-3-1 zone, and that's when we started cutting in a lead. Like, we have a really good 1-3-1 offense. We just didn't run it, and it was kind of frustrating because it opens up a lot of backdoor opportunities for lobs. I don't know. It was a weird game. I know there's things the staff wishes they could change, and I know every player on the team wants that game back, knowing I could have hit one more shot, and we probably could have won that game. I think they only scored 9 points for like 14 minutes there in the second half before they finally woke up in those last 3 minutes after Jesse Edwards fell out for Syracuse. Then they started like, oh yeah, we have to score. We're down 11. And they still had a chance to tie, which is crazy. And actually a chance to win because they got that turnover down 1. And Anthony Polite tried to go behind the back, fumbled out of bounds.
What is going on with Anthony Polite, man?
I don't know. I really do not know. They need him. They need him desperately. Like, we all thought, oh yeah, he's going to give us a consistent 10 to 12 points per game. But he's averaging like 7 right now. And that seems high. Like, that seems really high.
That not good percentages.
No,
some of those threes have been way off.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone watched my video of me putting all 33-point attempts on Twitter. I mean, there are some bricks. Like, my favorite was, I think it was Cam Fletcher on the wing right in front of our bench where he hit the bottom of the backboard in front of the rim. That was impressive. I like that one. And then, Ant had a couple that were just really short, like barely hit the front of the rim. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Tough stretch. We've talked about it all season. It comes down to Florida State hitting those open shots, and until they do, it's going to look ugly out there.
Shots. They had 15 open shots against Syracuse. 15 open threes. I'll just say that. 15 open threes. I think 2. I'd have to go back. If I remember all 4 threes, Caleb Mills had the one fake shot. No, I would say that was open. Osborne had the one to start the second half. That was a little bit tougher. He had the wide open one in the corner. So I'll say they had 2.5 open makes. It's not good percentage. You got to make at least half of those.
Yeah, now you get a week off and you head up to South Carolina in the No Room for Racism Classic, which it's in Rock Hill.
It's in Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is about 30 minutes away from University of South Carolina's campus. So it's basically a home game for the Gamecocks.
It's going to be going wild.
Sunday at noon. I'm sure it's going to be sold out.
I'm very certain I'm going to be one of 30 people there.
It's going to be riveting.
Very certain. Because South Carolina
What are you
basketball
doing, dude?
Okay, Rock Hill's 45 minutes from me in Charlotte. So it's like...
I'm talking about Logan over there with those... like,
I'm trying to get everybody energized for this game. Get excited.
Here's the thing. South Carolina does play fast. They're one of the faster teams in the country, but they're also really bad. Which I know we've said that against a couple of teams that, we that have been closer, but South Carolina is pretty bad. They're worse than Missouri analytically, and we destroyed that team. But the difference is Missouri plays slow, South Carolina plays fast. We'll see. I'm not expecting much from South Carolina. I'm expecting a really motivated Florida State team the way last week went, getting blown out by Purdue and losing the chance for the ACC record against Syracuse. I'm expecting them to be pretty motivated.
I hope so.
I do too, because I don't want to go down there with media access and then asking a question after the game. Why did we shoot 2 of 23 from 3? Don't want that happening again.
No.
Which, by the way, if you're going to be at the game, come find your boy. I know there's a few.
Yeah, if you're in Rock Hill,
hope they don't put you in front of the band.
What's Nate saying?
I don't know if the band's going to be there.
What did you say, Nate?
I was saying was that nothing.
Nice.
Shout out women's soccer for the national championship, by the way, number 3.
Oh yeah, that's what we're gonna end it off on.
I feel like we got to mention that
in the penalty kicks. I mean, that's the most that's the most stressful shit ever.
I mean, it's good that they got it back because they lost on PKs in
last year.
Spring, in the spring, so they get it back.
Bounce back.
Redemption arc. Third, what did you say, Dawson? Third national championship in program history.
Yeah, number 3, and it's their third in 8 years. It's a good streak.
Coach K knows what he's doing.
Another dynasty.
That's Coach K in Tallahassee. Don't at me.
Don't at VZ, but yeah, and they're bringing back a lot of talent next year too. So another run in store for the Lady Noles. Nate, they won the national championship. Any comment on the Lady Noles winning that natty? Were you able to watch any? Thumbs up, he said. Yeah, no, I watched all of it too. Nate commented in the private chat and said, Logan is a certain word. We'll let the chat and listeners figure out what that word might have been. And if you tweet us and tell us what it might have been, we'll give you a free...
I corrected it.
Sure. Oh, my God. All right. Yeah, now we definitely got to move on from here. That's going to wrap up tonight's podcast. Like I said earlier, you can listen to podcasts on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. I see there's been about 10 of you guys that have signed up for the texting platform that we're using for early signing day. I highly suggest you do it now. 850
send them a gift card.
8661. Also,
send them a gift card, Logan.
I updated the chat what it should be, the proper word.
Yeah, just we're not even going to release that out to the public of what's going on in that private chat. But also, shout out to our friends at Celsius. We don't have a code yet for you guys, but these are fantastic drinks. I had it for my exams. Also graduating this week, so done with school, and Celsius was incredible. All I had to have was one for each day, and went through my exams for the fastest that I've ever done them. There's no cap in there either. I got it done. I was done Tuesday afternoon, done with all of my exams. Usually it's like Thursday or Friday to end off the semester. That all was because of Celsius.
I actually drank one.
Did you now? You actually drank one. Thank you. I got pressed every podcast because
so, me and my high blood pressure, that thing had me freaking sky high. It was nice.
What do you mean by sky high?
Well, not like you, Dustin, and high. They was taking care of the restaurant like no other.
You sent everyone else home and cleaned that whole restaurant by yourself.
Nah, never.
Oh, well.
Up and down 8 flights of stairs. You know, up and down.
Get an elevator.
We have an elevator.
Dustin.
I said, "Fuck it, let's take the steps." So I'm on Celsius.
I'm on Celsius. F it. Dustin, what number should
needs the chest, man? Needs the chest.
Jesus, you were really wrong. I know, it doesn't do that much to me like that, but Nate was rocking. Rocking hard. That didn't. Let's go ahead and end it off there. That didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it. Enjoy the rest of y'all's weekend. Shout out to Celsius. Text us 850-616-8661. I'm just gonna keep on blowing it up into y'all's brains until you finally do it. You're gonna miss out. It's free too. So, all right, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's weekend, and we'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. Recapping.
Hey, Logan.
Early signing day.
Logan.
Thursday.
Oh, Logan.
What?
Logan.
Hold up.
Logan.
Oh, Travis Hunter?
No. Hey, congrats on finishing school, bro.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. And then are you
I was
leaving?
expecting a skull. That's what I was expecting.
That's a big feat in life, bro. Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And you did it in half the time Dustin did, so congrats. Appreciate it.
I knew that was coming.
No, it was like 3/4 time. He almost caught up to me. It was close. It's a closer race than I anticipated.
Yeah. And also, yeah, no, it's nice to be done with it. Now I get to hang out with you guys a lot more.
Are you gonna
nice.
Are you gonna
Can't
walk
wait.
across? You gonna walk across stage?
I was thinking more of, because I have to deal with paparazzi, just kind of feel like I have to do it in the private spot.
I kind of hope you walk across the stage and fall and bust your ass.
I've never
That's
fell
what I
in my
hope.
entire life. That would never happen. I've never fell.
I hope you step on your robe and do a face plant.
I hope I don't do that. Watch me fall like right into. Watch it be like McCall. I just walk right into him, and I don't know. Where's the football only facility? You know.
Nah, but for real, man, congrats, man. It's a big,
Thank you. I
big
appreciate
step
it.
in life, bro.
Thank you.
No turning
See,
back
that's-
now. You're officially an adult.
And I act like one too. So
It sucks.
That's the thing.
It sucks.
Cap.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're not even getting started. Austin.
And the podcast.
Yeah, we're not even getting started. Don't even get me there. The Steelers are already
podcast.
losing, so you don't get to say anything more for the rest of the night. I'm blocking.
Oh,
you up
it'll
for
be in
the
the group
rest of the
chat.
night. Nah, I won't be looking. All right. Text me, call me. Travis Hunter, your last thoughts here before he's a Knoll. This is your last one. We never got him on the pod. Well, there's no we'll have him one day.
Best recruit in the history of FSU. Legitimately.
I thought it was the history of
coming
Evan.
in.
That's what I thought you were going to say. That's why
I think that, when you look at any sport, I think he's probably the best prospect in the history of life.
That's what we want.
Basketball.
That's exact.
Basketball, baseball, soccer, hockey, fencing, highlight, curling, tennis, backgammon, whatever you want to put it up against.
That's like curling.
Travis Hunter's the best.
Curling?
Jumping jacks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah. This is it. That's how you
It's
end it
time to
off
go.
right there. It's time to rock now. I thought it'd be done after I had a really weird comment earlier, but that's just how the show goes.
you're the
enjoy rest
guy
of the
that
weekend.
controls the button. Like you can.
I
turn
could
this
leave
thing
and y'all.
off
I could leave and y'all
whenever
leave.
you want.
I like hanging out with you guys. You guys are my friends.
You can hang out with us. Exactly.
No, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. All right, y'all. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Talk to y'all later, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday night. Wednesday, Dustin, not Thursday. Wednesday.
No,
Night
Thursday.
Early signing day is on the 15th.
Yeah, and I'll be here for a podcast on the 16th at 8:30. So
Look at this. Look at this.
we're not reverting our schedule.
Yes, we are. We're doing an instant rant. Nate, I
I'll
guess I'll
see
see
y'all
you.
on Thursday.
I'm not recording
at
2
8:30.
podcasts.
better not record one on Wednesday.
His ass will be here.
And
everybody, enjoy the weekend. Adios. We're out of here.
Mama told me